Hello everyone, it's me, Frffy Vs Anime. I did a Q&A on Twitter, so I'm going to be answering the questions that I received. If you would like to ask any other questions, you can do so by following me on Twitter or on Curious Cat. So let's dive into this. Evan X Evan asked, what inspired me to start YouTube? One of the first people to really put the idea in my head that I wanted to do YouTube was Smosh back when I was in elementary school, just because it looked like a lot of fun. And I also really liked the idea of getting famous and not having to go through college. That was one of the first reasons. But I'm going to college anyway, because there's something I want to do besides YouTube. What inspired me to start YouTube, though, was my teacher, my art teacher. He had a speech about, because we were going to become professional artists at one point, he wanted us to not become what he referred to as like anonymous artists, like people who are just too afraid to share their work with people. He wanted us to like be proud of what we were doing and to have confidence in it for the future. And that resonated with me. So I started a YouTube channel, and the idea and hope for that was to help build confidence. And in my first ever video on Frffy Vs Anime, I actually talked about that, how I didn't want to be anonymous and that I wanted to build confidence as a person and as an artist. So that was the reason I started YouTube. Featuring Dez asked a bunch of questions. The first one is, biggest surprise film-wise? The film that was the biggest surprise to me was Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. I was taking a film course during the summer, and we were watching a bunch of like cult, unknown films, and I just found like 90% of them to be very boring, and I was unengaged with a lot of them. But then they turned on Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, and that movie appealed to me on every conceivable level possible, and I was absolutely blown away. I was having a blast. It was so much fun. I actually wasn't a film person. Like, I wasn't someone who sought out movies and like tried to watch everything that had come out in a year and stuff, but I became a film person because I loved Scott Pilgrim so much that it made me want to watch more movies. So that's an interesting little tidbit. Okay, my biggest disappointment film-wise. My biggest disappointment film-wise would have to be, this is gonna be weird, Kung Fu Panda 3, because I love the first two Kung Fu Panda films, and the third one, while still being a good film, is like not remotely as great as the first two films and doesn't play to a lot of the strengths that they had. And I just remember being kind of unengaged with it, and I have trouble watching that film. So I watch the first two films, Kung Fu Panda 1 and 2, every now and again, but I'm always reluctant to watch the third one. The third one just kind of isn't a great finale in my mind. Alright, biggest surprise anime. The biggest surprise anime-wise would be Hunter x Hunter 2011. So, this was in high school when a game called J-Stars Victory Versus was coming out. So, I wasn't very familiar with a lot of the series that were going to be in this game. And because I wanted to enjoy this game to the fullest, because there were going to be characters like Naruto and Luffy and Goku, and I really liked those characters, I decided to start getting into the other series that were in the game. And when I got to Hunter x Hunter, my initial impression was that I was going to not like it because I thought the name was stupid. So when I got to it and I started watching it, I was surprised because I was absolutely in love with it from beginning to end. I had so much fun, and it remains to be one of the best anime I've ever seen. That was J-Stars, the game, actually turned out to not be great, but getting into Hunter x Hunter because of that game is an absolute upside, in my opinion. So my biggest surprise was Hunter x Hunter. Favorite character design. Favorite character design. I don't know. I might go with maybe a Hero Academia character, because I really love Horikoshi's work. I'm gonna go with favorite character design. That's tough. I'm gonna go with Deku's character design for My Hero Academia, because I really love how his, like, the unique shading of his hair, like, it's black, but it has, like, green highlights. And I also, like, I really dig characters with gloves, and he has, like, power gloves now. And those are super cool looking, so I'm gonna go with Deku for My Hero Academia. His design is super cool. What Straw Hat would I cosplay as? I kind of want to say, this is totally ironic, but I totally want to say Nico Robin. And my plan for that costume, if that ever happened, is I would like get like a skin colored shirt or whatever, and I would pack like, I don't know, like balloons or something into my chest to make them look like huge boobs. And I would go to like whatever con, and I like to imagine the confusion and laughter on everyone's faces, but yeah, like I like to dress as the characters that make me look super weird and stupid. So if I had to dress as a Straw Hat, it would be Nico Robin, just because it would fuck with people. Okay, this dude has a long name. Mr. Idiotic, no stupidity. I'm just gonna call him Mr. Idiotic. Okay, have I watched Trigun? I have not watched Trigun. I will get around to it eventually. Have I watched Legend of the Galactic Heroes? I have seen a couple episodes of Legend of the Galactic Heroes, and I enjoyed it, but I put it off because I was watching seasonal anime at the time, along with that show, and having to cut between all those seasonals and Legend of the Galactic Heroes was actively ruining my enjoyment of that show, so I put it down, and I haven't picked it up for a while, but I will at some point. Have I seen Breaking Bad? Yes, I have seen Breaking Bad. I freaking love it. It's my favorite live-action TV show. I just haven't finished it yet. I got to the episode Better Call Saul, and I had to put it down because I had to go back to school, and I never had time for it, and I haven't picked it up since, but I will pick it up again at some point. Have I seen The Wire? No, but I am planning to watch The Wire at some point, because people say that it's really great. And Better Call Saul. I will watch Better Call Saul when I'm finished Breaking Bad, but I'm planning to watch most of these things. Okay, have I read? I can't pronounce a good chunk of these names, but no, I haven't read any of the books by these people. I think. I usually don't pay attention to who writes books and stuff, so maybe I have, maybe I haven't, but I'm pretty sure I haven't. Favorite live-action TV show or film? So I already said Breaking Bad is my favorite live-action TV show, even though I've only seen 2 of them. And my favorite live-action film would be Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring, which I think is such a great movie. I absolutely love it. Goldie Guy asks, favorite horror manga? I haven't read too many manga, and I don't think I've read any horror manga, so I don't have a favorite horror manga. I'm sure if I did start reading horror manga, Junji Ito would probably have my favorite horror manga, but at the moment I do not have a favorite horror manga. Alright, Doji asks, thoughts on One Piece? One Piece is my favorite piece of fiction in the world. I have been it was one of the first anime I ever got into alongside Naruto, and it's the only series I've ever experienced that like consistently stayed great for like years of my life. Like to this day, One Piece hits some of the highest highs I've ever experienced in a work of fiction. And the fact that it has done so when so many other long running stories lose me, it's just It is a miracle that this series is a thing. Okay, why anime? I don't understand that question. Why anime? Like, why did I get into anime? Maybe? Okay, so I'm not really sure what that question refers to, but if you're asking why did I get into anime, I got into anime because I had, when I was younger, my parents wanted to get me into reading, so they bought me some comic books, and one of the comic books they got me was a book called Naruto. And I knew that Naruto was in this magazine called Shonen Jump, and I saw that some Shonen Jump shows like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Dragon Ball had TV shows, so I just kind of assumed that Naruto had a TV show, because they didn't get me volume 1 of Naruto, they got me like volume 20 or something, so I was always so confused as to what the hell was going on. So I started watching the TV show, and I absolutely loved it, and I started getting into other anime because of it. So the reason I got into anime was because of a Naruto manga. And what is next? Favorite Satoshi Kon work? I have not watched anything by Satoshi Kon. I will get to him eventually. And Mr. A asks, what is the meaning of life? The meaning of life is to subscribe to Frffy Vs Anime. I don't make the rules, you just have to follow them. So make sure to subscribe to Frffy Vs Anime. Alright, updates now. So, what is the plan? Unfortunately, I still have school during the quarantine. I still have a couple more projects that I need to do because my school decided not to cancel. They decided to just do everything online. And because I haven't had lectures on how to do some of these assignments, I'm just fucking confused about all of them. So, videos, like I said, will continue some point in April when I'm done all this schoolwork. But if you guys have any other questions for me or would like to see more Q&As, you can follow me on Twitter at Frffy1, FRFFY1, and I also have a curious cat, and both of them should be linked in the description. All right, thank you for your questions, and have a great day. The meaning of life is to subscribe to Frffy Vs Anime.